Operating room. Of course, my mother knew. In a nighttime flashlight ray gun battle with the other boys on a 1956 camping trip, I trip over a tent stake in the dark, fall, fracture my left arm at the shoulder. But no one is certain the bone has been broken until 4 days later. As soon as we get home, my mother takes one look and rushes me to the doctor. To heal properly, he declares, my arm will have to be rebroken and reset. My parents drive me to Mercy Medical Center at Rockville Center, Long Island, New York, that night. On the gurney the next day, the first ever search for my often elusive veins takes 10 penetrations, one for each year of my life. At last hooked up to an IV, another shot puts me out. I count backward from 10, all the way to 4. I awake later, woozy, in a large, clean, well-lighted operating room, standing just off the lower end of a surgical table, surrounded by the surgeon, nurses, and other gowned and masked personnel. My own hospital gown lays crumpled on the table behind me, so I stand only partly draped in a thin sheet. Hardening white armor, a damp beer barrel-like plaster cast already encircles my hairless chest. As my eyes adjust to the bright lights, I see that my left arm is extended in a permanent Sieg Heil salute, while milky layers of gauze are applied. A pungent wet plaster scent rises to my nostrils, mingled with something more, a breathtaking, heavenly, elusive fragrance, a whiff of exotic perfume, or natural pheromones from a petite and energetic young nurse who stands so close, rhythmically wraps my arm in hardening layers. Freud speaks of a latency period, but there, with that nurse at the center of all eyes, I stand unsteadily, shaking off a general anesthetic. At age 10, suddenly am swooningly aware of awakening to a vision of feminine perfection, at least twice my age. This svelte young woman in uniform, her dark, shining hair, kindly eyes, and gentle hands make my heart jackhammer. Noting my eyes on her, she beams at me, her face very close, her lips. Suddenly the room full of adults erupts in laughter. My left arm is no longer the sole stiff appendage pointed her way for everyone to see. Under the hot, too bright lights, that angel of mercy pretends not to see. Just keeps humming and smiling beatitudes to herself. Happily wraps the whitened plaster boy hand that too soon stretches her way without ever reaching her. Wraps until they finally lay me down and wheel me, with my precociously tented torso, back to my room. Of course, my mother never knew.